Hello. Thought I'd walk through how to add subclass features in D&D 5e in Foundry. There are, of course, ways to import these features from D&D Beyond, but those are covered elsewhere. Thought it'd be nice to have a quick run through of how to do them from scratch in Foundry. So I'm just going to do one, and I think you'll get the idea. So I've got a token here, a character who has just hit level 3 and needs to add some subclass stuff. This player chose Battlemaster as the subclass, and I've got my D&D Beyond reference up in another tab here to pull from. So usually what I'll do is create a feature for the subclass itself, just for the flavor text and reference, and then we'll build the actual active abilities from there. So I'm going to create an item. I'm going to call it Battle Master. We will make this a feature. And then just in the description for it, I'm just going to paste in the just the paragraph from here. If you hit this guy, it'll kill all the formatting that comes with. And that's good. You can, of course, give it an icon. I'm not going to bother right now. So that's now in my items directory. I can drop that on the character, and now this character has that. It doesn't do anything, but it's a reference to note that they've chosen that subclass. And then once you have added that, we can get into the actual features that do things. So this one is going to require some maneuvers. My player has chosen which maneuvers they're going to use. So I'm going to show you how I would make maybe one of those. Before we start though, because these maneuvers are going to need to draw on a resource, the superiority dice, I'm going to set those up on the front of the sheet. Again, there's different ways of doing resource pulling from this, but I like this one because it puts it right up in the front. If you're running out of resources to pull from up here, you could do it a different way. But superiority dice up there, and they get 4 of them. So we're going to put 4 and a 4, and they regain on a short or long rest. So we hit both of those. So now we've got that to pull on when we make the feature. The saving throw DC is probably actually a good thing to throw into the Battlemaster feature itself, just as a reference. So I'm going to come down to the maneuvers, and my player chose goading attack, parry, and some other thing I can't remember. I think parry is going to be a fair one to demonstrate with, so I'm going to do that first. So we're going to make a new item. We're going to call it parry. It is also a feature. And we are going to start by just pasting in the text, making it slightly less ugly. Let's throw in an icon on this one just for fun. If you haven't already found these, if you're in your user data and go into your systems folder, into the D&D 5e system, there is a folder full of icons that's got a whole bunch of great stuff. There's also a bunch of icons in the core data directories as well. So here in skills, I think there's some good sort of weapony things down here somewhere. Where might, yeah, something like this might be good for parry. There we go. Okay, so now a lot of the time when you're adding subclass features, this is it. Like you're done at this point, because a lot of them will have descriptive text that tells you what to do, but don't really have like active things that you could set up as features in Foundry. So lots of times you just get this far, grab the skill, and throw it on the character, and then you're done. And then it's just in the list here as a passive ability for the player to refer to, just like it would be on a paper character sheet. And even if it is one like Perry that has an actual thing it does, this is still for a lot of game tables enough to just throw on the sheet and refer to. So the amount of automation and integration with Foundry that you do really depends on sort of the level of play that you do at your table. I think for our purposes we can get the superiority die usage out of this, and also get this roll. So let's add that. So this is going to be, we're going to switch over the details tab. You notice in the text it says it costs reaction. So we're going to set this to 1 reaction. And that expands a bunch of stuff. We don't need most of that. This here is where we're going to make it consume a superiority die, but we can't actually set that yet because this feature is still sitting in our items sidebar, and so it doesn't have access to the attributes on the character sheet. So we're going to throw that in later, but we can set up parts of it right now. So that's it for this top category. And then what else does this thing do? It uses 1 die, which is this, to reduce the damage by the number you roll plus the dex modifier. So what I'm going to do for that is make just an other action type here. And I'm also going to throw this into the other formula. Because the superiority dice are d8s always, and that's what it's rolling here, plus the dex mod, I'm just going to throw 1d8 into this other formula, and then we're going to add the dex mod. And the inline property syntax for dex modifier is at abilities.dex.mod. And hit us up on the Discord if you want to know how to find the rest of those. So that's all the setup I need for the feature as it's in the items directory here. And then of course, once I've made these for all of my subclasses, I'll put them into folders. I'll probably throw them into my own feature compendiums. But for now, let's just get it onto the characters. So we give this guy Parry. He now has Parry. You'll notice it shows up in active abilities because it actually uses a reaction. And it's not yet drawing on the superiority dice because we haven't hooked up that one last piece there. So we're going to edit that, and now we can choose from this actor's actual attributes. And so I had that in the first of the 3 resource pools, so that's resources.primary. And so now it's pulling 1 die from that pool each time it's used. And it should be rolling this. So we can give it a shot. So if this character is going to use Parry, he rolls this, chooses whether or not to consume it. Maybe if you're testing, you turn it off. Usability gives us the text from the description, which is nice to refer to, and a button to roll the dice. So here we've got d8 plus 3, which gives my player the number that he can reduce his damage by. And if we go to the front of his sheet, you can see he's down to 3 superiority dice remaining. And that's basically it. Again, just quickly go through each of your features that the subclass gets. You don't have to do them all the way up to level 20, just do them as you need them or when you get a chance. And make them in your items sidebar, drag them onto your character as you need them. Don't go nuts with automation if you don't feel like you need it. You can get away with just pasting in the text and throwing on a pretty picture, and everyone will be fine. For some things, of course, you can go even further with the automation if you're using the core active effects or dynamic active effects, things like that. But I'll leave that up to other people to describe and help you with. Anyway, hope that helps. Good luck with your subclassing.